Mellow greetings and good day, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Mellow greetings and good day. It has been a long time, hasn't it? Almost yes, I'd say 2 entire months of absence. Quite the achievement. Bet you thought I was dead, gone forever. My poor soul claimed by the almighty wall rider. Such a dreadful fate. There is of course also the chance that you simply didn't notice I was gone. Certainly a plausible scenario as well. But lo and behold, whether you like it or not, he has returned to upload new videos. The one and only Mr. TSC, aka TheShadowCookie. Feels good to be back. Oh yes it does. I missed you, viewing audience. I did. Perhaps you would like to know why I decided to once again disappear without a single word of warning. The short answer would be as follows. Trade school, internships, and hopefully soon a proper 3-year-long education. That's the plan at any rate. A very fragile and exhausting plan. Who the hell cares about it though, am I right? You are not here because of my life and its boring stories. No. You are here because of a special passion we happen to share. Horror, madness, insanity. The time has arrived at last to finish this grim chapter of terrifying nightmares. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the sinister world of Let's Play Outlast. Oh, I've been looking forward to this. I promised to provide you with closure, and today you are going to receive it. Prepare yourselves. Without further ado, let us get back into it, shall we? Truth be told, I originally intended to eliminate these remaining matters during as well as after the credits, but ultimately decided not to, because the finale had already gotten over, I think, 40 minutes long. However, today we have all the time in the world, and we are going to use it as efficiently as possible. So, when we last left off, our journey had ended, credits and everything. Perhaps you still remember our dear protagonist, the lone investigator, Miles Upshur, managed to kill Billy Hope, the godforsaken host of the Wall Rider, deep beneath Mount Massive Asylum, within the underground laboratories of Murkoff. Unfortunately, his actions did not, shall we say, yield positive results. Instead of shutting the War Rider down, he forced it to seek out a new body, his own. Oh, Miles. It puts a tear to my face, the knowledge that his entire struggle to stay alive was a futile endeavor, doomed from the start. All he ever wanted was to escape, pretty much. Even after getting possessed by the Wall Rider, he still tried to drag his broken body towards the exit. And then Murkoff soldiers proceeded to mercilessly gun him down, whereupon the swarm of nanites broke free again to slaughter them out of spite, I guess, including Dr. Wernicke. But he asked for it, didn't he, the selfish bastard? If only he hadn't given his soldiers the careless order to open fire. Miles tried his best to stay in control. Maybe he could have succeeded with a little help. But no, screw that, screw undoing those sins, said Dr. Wernicke. My humble self is in charge of this project. I'll exterminate them eyewitnesses once again for the sake of my precious research and science. Well, now you are dead. Your wish has been granted. Looks like the madness of your life finally caught up with you. Unfortunately, it came a little late. The Wall Rider is free, and nothing can change that. I am sure mankind will appreciate its existence. Oh, poor Mr. Miles. may the Lord rest his soul. Yours, on the other hand, shall burn in hell forever, Dr. Wernicke. Forever. I wonder what his ghostly creation is going to do next. Attack Colorado's population? Find and tear apart random villages? Perhaps even cities? No need to go overboard, of course, but it would be kind of interesting to observe the Walrider's actions in the wild. There's an idea for a sequel. A sequel we will hopefully get eventually. I'd definitely pay money for it. Or how about some DLC? Oh, my bad, I am being silly as usual. DLC already exists. Oh, silly me indeed. DLC I'd love to tackle soon, very soon. They call it The Whistleblower, and it supposedly gives Outlast a proper beginning and conclusion. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Some answers to my questions at last. The most important ones being the following, from the top of my head. Yeah, who the hell sent Miles that email? The email, you know, that brought us to Mount Massive Asylum in the first place? What happened to the person who sent it? Back in episode, I believe, 21, it was called Reunion of Madness, a random document made me speculate that it could have been a Murkoff employee named David Annapurna. Isn't it great I can remember that weird name, David Annapurna, but I can't remember the episode number. Oh well, David Annapurna, who requested reassignment as a result of a strong dislike towards the company's illegal activities. In response to this, they took his rights, processed him as a patient of Mount Massive, and he was never seen again. So much for justice. However, it has since been confirmed by the developers that he was in fact not the fella who sent Miles that email. Who was it then, for crying out loud? What's the identity of this mysterious whistleblower? I don't know. I don't think any of the people we met qualify. And what about the Walrider? What will it do now that it has been unleashed? Has mankind's fate been sealed or not? A good question, isn't it? Christ almighty, so many unanswered questions. All the more reason to look forward to the DLC, ladies and gents. Unless, of course, you've already played or seen The Whistleblower, in which case I'd like to kindly ask you not to spoil anything. Thanks. But enough talk about the story. This epilogue isn't just about it, after all. Oh no, it is also about the opinion of your courteous host. Yes, that is me. What do I think of the game in general? Did I enjoy my time with Outlast? The short answer would have to be a resounding yes. No doubt about it. Outlast is an amazing game, one our world desperately needed. Oh, I remember back in 2013, yes, it was 2013, late 2013, there was pretty much nothing but schlock out there in terms of AAA horror. Games such as Dead Space 3 and Resident Evil 6, oh my, those games. Yes, they are fun to play, yes, they look good, they ooze quality, but they are also not scary. Which is bad considering they started out as horror games. But not anymore, not nowadays, oh no, not anymore. They exchanged their souls for money. They exchanged horror for action, and co-op and multiplayer and achievements and yada 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 yada. So very, very sad. But then along came Outlast, a small AAA horror game, but a good one. It showed the world that horror can still exist, that game developers and publishers should try. Come on, you big publishers out there, just give horror games a try. Don't just see the money, you need to see the atmosphere, the stories, you need to see the fan base. Oh, Outlast, thank you. I am so grateful that you exist. I am so grateful that your creators, Red Barrels, birthed you into existence. Oh, this game. It is so very, very amazing. Yes, getting back on track. Almost everything it offered greatly pleased my thirst for sweet, sweet horror. It wasn't too short, maintained an excellent pace, and rarely ceased to impress me. Great opening, decent build-up to the scary stuff, amazing setting, what else? Ominous environments, interesting story, expert use of lighting and shadow effects as well as sound effects. Oh yeah, mustn't forget about the sound effects. All of the effects, they were brilliant. Beautiful graphics, creepy ambience. Am I forgetting something? Constant tension. Oh yes, definitely. Memorable characters, especially Dr. Richard Traeger. My god, is there anything Outlast didn't do right? Could it be the perfect experience? Well, as much as it pains me to admit it, unfortunately it isn't. There are always missteps on the stairway to glory, and Outlast does not happen to be an exception to the rule, I'm afraid. I'd say that most of these missteps can be summed up in a single word. Predictability. Yes, indeed, a good word. Predictability. For example, the game certainly started out well, as I already mentioned, and made excellent use of the creepy variants. They felt new, as well as incalculable. One moment you walk past a group of them without much trouble, next thing you know they start hunting you down once you pass by again. I loved that. Every variant felt like a ticking bomb. You have no idea when it might decide to explode. It created such a sense of imminent doom whenever we met those lunatics. But Outlast's over-reliance on them, the same enemy type, over and over non-stop, ruined the atmosphere a little. It's quite silly how the variants themselves offer such little variety. By the time we reached the, I'd say, female ward, I'd grown quite weary of them. Because if you've seen one, you've seen them all, right? You know their AI routines. It was obvious. I mean, yeah, those guys, we just met them over and over and over, and whenever we did, I was like, oh, that guy, he's gonna wander the area. If he sees me, he'll chase me a little. He might check some of the hiding places, but that's it. After that, he'll just leave. Each encounter still felt frightening, of course, but they didn't really scare me anymore. They no longer sparked much in the way of real surprises, and came across as nuisances rather than intimidating foes. Unique adversaries such as the lumbering, door-shattering Chris Walker certainly managed to steer things up a little every now and then, but even his repeated appearances eventually lost some of their charm. There weren't enough unique adversaries with unique behaviors. It made the game seem somewhat tiresome at times. However, what saves Outlast from completely succumbing to these flaws, in my opinion, would be the fact that it never lingers on a scene for too long. There's always unique stuff to see. Escaping the prison block, followed by Chris Walker in the sewers, followed by exploring the sewers, followed by an epic variant chase, followed by Dr. Richard Traeger in the male ward. See what I mean? I could go on, but yeah, diversity keeps repetition at bay. I can easily forgive Outlast's lack of enemy variety, because it managed to deliver in so many other ways. For example, let's see, what did I enjoy to no end? Oh, there are so many good examples. Firstly, I'd say the hide-and-seek mechanics. Oh yes, definitely. They were so reminiscent of Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and I love Amnesia. Seriously, whenever you need to hide in a horror game, hide from your foes, that is a very, very good thing. Having to hide, absence of weapons, because after all, your main character is not meant to be a soldier. He is not a superhero, just a helpless average Joe. All he can do is run away from his enemies, stay in the shadows to avoid their attention, or die. Being so defenseless gradually builds tension. It creates a sense of imminent doom. And once that doom explodes, once that enemy catches you, you better be ready for the worst. Oh, I seriously cannot stress enough how important it is to keep weapons as far away from horror as possible. They destroy tension, tear it to pieces, because you suddenly aren't mere prey anymore. You can fight back, and games such as, oh here they go again, Resident Evil 6 or Dead Space 3 showed us what happens in that kind of scenario. You take down armies of monsters. Armies! And that's just wrong. It's not scary anymore. Instead, it turns into... what does it turn into? What would be a great example here? Ah, yes. Instead, it turns into Michael Bay's Wet Dream. No! Screw that! Who wants that? Monsters are supposed to be overwhelming and powerful. Imagine how pathetic Cthulhu would be if you could just shoot the bastard with a handgun. Christ almighty. More developers should take a leaf out of the book of Outlast, or Amnesia: The Dark Descent, or Penumbra. Yes. Oh, those games knew their stuff well. You don't defeat monsters, you flee from them. And if you absolutely need to have a weapon, then at least make it a last resort, or make the weapons weak and insignificant. Cry of Fear, for example, handed its protagonist countless toys, but every single one easily ran out of ammunition. And also took forever to dispose of a creature. That's how you do it right. Or how about a more recent game? Let's see. Yes, here's a good example. So many good examples today. The Last of Us. Ah, yes, The Last of Us. Remember The Last of Us? Remember the clickers? Those weird, infected mutant creatures? Oh yeah, those were scary. And guess what? The protagonist, Joel, he had plenty of weapons at his disposal, but not a whole lot of ammunition. Despite having weapons, he is still the prey. You see, you felt weak. You felt that your weapons, yes, with them you can take down those clickers over there, but it won't be easy. You need to be strategic, for if you do one mistake, it'll be over. Yeah, that's how you do it right. You feel uneasy and insecure, despite an arsenal of firearms. Lesson learned? Excellent. I sure hope that you learned a lesson today. Not you, ladies and gents, you already know this lesson, but what about the publishers, the developers? I wish they could finally learn a lesson. Moving on, let's see, what else? What else? Yes, of course, the camcorder. Oh, how could anyone forget about the camcorder? Mr. Camcorder, my best friend, the reporter's best friend, the fast-draining night vision camcorder, a messenger of looming fear. Oh, did you expect me to say a messenger of peace and happy feelings and thoughts? Oh, no, 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 no. You see the world of Outlast through its eyes. Watch in anticipation as it captures minute after minute of the asylum's haunted atmosphere. It also provides you with light, often happens to be your only source of light, and slowly succumbs to starvation the more you use it. But it mustn't starve. Without it, you won't be able to see. Nothing will protect you from the beasties of the pitch-black night. But maybe it's reassuring at times, not knowing what's inside the blackness. Certainly a strange conflict, like a sort of double-edged sword. You despise the darkness so much, but grow fond of it as well, ever so slightly, because it provides you with beneficial blessings. For example, its treacherous embrace saves up battery life, and you'll need those batteries. Oh yes, you'll need them. I remember almost running out of them in the sewers of Mount Massive. Sinister times indeed. All in all, it's a good mechanic, a very good mechanic I'd say, one I usually love a lot in horror games. Unless implemented poorly, of course. I know quite a few games which have their portable sources of light empty batteries faster than the speed of light, and that's ridiculous. Outlast had professional balance though, I'd say. There were always enough batteries available on normal difficulty, even with my slow-paced style. I'll miss him. The trusty camcorder. I'll miss him for sure. I also wish more horror games would implement this kind of feature. Just take the light source away from the player every now and then, cause guess what? It's something new and unexpected. I need to refer to Cry of Fear again. After you're done with most of the game, like 3/4 of it, you suddenly lose your light source. You lose the cell phone, and then they give you a lamp, a lantern, and leave you to die in the middle of a pitch-black forest. That was unexpected and clever and creepy. More of that, please. Moving on. Of course, I don't want this video to get too long, like it shouldn't get over an hour long. Allow me to try and sum up the remaining positives in a sort of half-assed speech. Yeah, that'll do. Let's see. I enjoyed the story. The story was great and very, very mysterious. You had to piece everything together from ancient documents, and I liked that. They didn't tell you what was going on. Oh no, you had to use your own imagination. It started out with a mysterious asylum. Oh, what's inside that asylum? I don't know. There are shadows moving past the windows. Why is there light? Isn't this place supposed to be abandoned? Then you get inside and meet the variants. Oh my god, what is going on? What are the variants? What is everything? What is anything? I've got no idea. But then you find notes, and you slowly learn about the secrets, the history of Murkoff and the CIA's research program, and so on and so forth. What I especially loved about the story would have to be Project MK Ultra. In case you didn't know, ladies and gents, that project of the CIA actually took place. Oh yes, that project, the developers of Outlast didn't make it up. No, the CIA invented that program about during the time. I'd say a good question actually. I am not very good with dates, but about the same time as, you know, what the game already told us. After, or I think already before, the Second World War. It's when it started, and then they, you know, they slowly but surely added to the project and made more and more and more with it, yada 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 yada, until 1970? Was it 1970 when the program was shut down? I think so, not sure, but yeah, that thing, Project MK Ultra, existed. The CIA, they abducted patients, abducted them, also prisoners, and forced them to take drugs, sexually abused them, etc., etc. They did crazy things with them. And I didn't know that. I just one day randomly decided to look up Project MK Ultra, you know, entered the word in Google, and much to my surprise, I discovered that it is a real thing. That it existed, and guess what? Some people speculate that it exists to this day, that it was, yeah, they say officially it was shut down after the investigations took place, but yeah, you know our world, you know the CIA, who knows what is the truth and what is not the truth. Yeah, nobody knows. That thing might still be out there, and that is quite creepy that they combined their fictional story with parts of a real life story. Yeah, very terrifying indeed. I like the story. Dr. Wernicke, how it started during World War II, the Wall Rider, the morphogenic engine, good stuff. And I'd love to see how it continues, although there might not be much left now in the way of advancing or adding to the story of Murkoff, because we've seen everything. We know how the Wall Rider got created and the morphogenic engine. Now it is probably just a smoldering piece of junk, the engine, and the Wall Rider is free, and Dr. Wernicke is dead, so yeah, there's not that much left, I'll admit, but you know, just in the case of Outlast, the story was good. I enjoyed it. Speaking of the Wall Rider, though, I have heard many people say that they actually dislike the ending of the game, primarily because it kind of changes things in a very drastic way. You know, you wander through the halls of the asylum for like 90% of the game, and then suddenly they throw you into the bright interior of the laboratories, and then there's the Wall Rider, and suddenly everything is reversed. You are not really meant to hide in the shadows, no, you are meant to run away from it in the light. And people say that wasn't a very good twist, I guess. People say it wasn't a good change of things, a change of pace, but I don't agree. Oh yeah, I disagree, because I think that change is sometimes good if done right. The entire game, you grow used to the darkness and the variance, but then suddenly the Wall Rider confronts you, and guess what? That thing is not a variant. The entire game hyped the Wall Rider up to be this indestructible force of nature, this thing that tears apart everyone it sees, a thing that cannot be taken down, and suddenly it is there. Here, guess what? You need to fucking run away. That is how it works. I don't see why people complain. That's not the only thing, of course, they complain about. No, they also say that the ending was a little abrupt, and, you know, Miles just gets possessed and shot, and that's that, the end. But why would you want more? Or what did you expect to happen? You know, what did you want to see? That Miles escapes and everything's fine and dandy? Sorry, that is not how horror games work. They always end in a very dark and depressing manner. You should grow used to that if you want to play more horror games in your life. Truth be told, I expected Miles to die. It was kind of obvious because, you know, how is anyone supposed to escape a nightmarish place like that? But I didn't think he was gonna die like that, getting shot by Murkoff soldiers. I thought the Wall Rider or whatever would tear him to pieces, but not soldiers. At least they died as well, though. That is something I greatly enjoyed. It's not like the bad guys won. No, Murkoff still lost. Because their creation is on the loose, and it cannot be stopped by their own soldiers. That is a very, very, very good thing. Hats off. I like the story. I like the ending. I would love to see a sequel. Of course, I am looking forward to the DLC because I want to learn how the whole ordeal started. I want to know who is responsible, who doomed Miles to become a victim of hell, who sent him there. You know, yeah, I know that person didn't really send him there, but you understand what I mean. Who is responsible is all I want to know. Who just took Miles's life and threw it into Mount Massive Asylum? Who did that? Does anyone know who did that? I guess I'll have to play the Whistleblower to find out. I'll have to play the Whistleblower in order to find out how the damn story ends, because there's supposedly something that takes place after the main story, after Miles has been possessed. But I don't know what. I wanna know. Like, I love this game so much. I wanna play that DLC so badly. But I've just been so busy with real life and other things. And of course, I am not gonna play it unless I am also recording it at the same time. And I just didn't have time to record anything lately, which means I can't play the damn DLC. But I wanna play it. I wanna play it so much. And soon it'll happen. I can promise you that. I'll try my very best. Soon it'll happen. But now I am just digressing. What else did I enjoy, you know, besides the things I already mentioned? Well, the whole game was just a gem. The sound effects were amazing in every single location. The sewers, the female ward. As I just said, everywhere the sounds, they were great, and they sounded so real, you know, so realistic and authentic. They certainly added to the atmosphere a great deal. And what else? The graphics were beautiful. I loved the whole asylum, because what better place, what better location for a horror game than an insane asylum, am I right? There was good variety there. You had the empty halls of the asylum, the cleaner halls, you know, of the administration block, the deteriorated female ward, the dirty sewers, some outdoor areas. I really liked that, how they introduced a small outdoor area halfway through the game. That certainly freaked me out, to encounter both the Wall Rider and Chris Walker out there. Oh, Chris Walker. I like that guy. He reminded me of the Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 so very much. Always showing up when you least expect it, tormenting you so very, very much. And then at the end, yeah, he died. Quite unfortunate, but I like how they killed him. You've been tormented by this guy over the course of the whole game. You fear nothing more than him, and then suddenly the Wall Rider shows up and teaches you to fear it instead. Oh, you fear this guy? Here, I just killed him. I killed the guy who made your night a living hell. Got a problem with that? I like that, and I could go on like this forever. You've probably realized by now I am not very, very good at making speeches like this. I can't really give proper reviews, as it were, without a script, and I am saying all this without a script. Oh yeah, who'd have thought? All the stuttering, all the and and yeah, it's just part of trying to speak freely, but you should already know how much I love this game. After all, you did watch my Let's Play, right? If not, what the hell are you doing here? But yeah, Outlast, it's a great game. The flaws it has, I can forgive those flaws. The lack of enemy variety, that didn't really bother me too much, because there were lots of other unique things. I really liked how they took away the camcorder. I liked Dr. Richard Traeger, Chris Walker. I know I am just repeating myself now, but there weren't too many other things I disliked. Really? Besides the lack of enemy variety, is there anything else that I disliked? Yeah, predictability, I already mentioned that, but what else? Was there anything? I guess one complaint would have to be that the game was too short. Just kidding, it wasn't that short. I just wish it could have gone on a little longer, because I love it so much, but seriously, I don't think I can find anything else. Maybe just one more thing. Yeah, now that I think about it, one other thing I didn't really like too much was that you know, not just the lack of enemy variety, but also the lack of enemy abilities, you could say. And what I mean by that is the following. Enemies, they always did the same. Oh, I'm gonna check beneath this bed. Oh, I'm gonna check in here. I'm gonna bust down this door. And, you know, that's that. I would have liked to see enemies behave in a different way. Enemies that, I don't know, that check everywhere so you can't really hide at all. Or enemies that... I don't really know how you'd implement it, but... You know, if you were to compare Outlast to Amnesia, what did enemies in Amnesia do? Nothing really, because those things weren't really human, they lacked the intelligence, they never really checked inside wardrobes. You could hide inside a wardrobe and then that would be that. They would never check unless you made a loud noise. So yeah, in Outlast they added a little to it. Enemies, they actually check if you are somewhere, and I like that, but... what am I complaining about here? I guess I'd like to see how far they can take it. Just take those AI routines and do more with them. Yeah, but that's just me. Other than that, though, the game was amazing. Everything about it was amazing. Ah! Now that I think about it, once again, there is actually one thing, one more final thing that I disliked. Guess what? The game wasn't really that scary. Yeah, now that I think about it, I can't believe I forgot to mention that. The game wasn't too scary. In all honesty, it started out great, yeah, the build-up was amazing, approaching the asylum, seeing people behind the windows, then climbing inside, hearing noises, discovering corpses, and so on and so forth, not knowing anything about the variants, but after, I'd say, after the prison block, yeah, after that the game sort of grew more and more calm and harmless. Yes, they did many things. They had a jump scare here and there. Thankfully, there weren't too many jump scares, and those they had they were alright. I didn't mind them, but other than that, besides the atmosphere, of course, the atmosphere was always creepy, but yeah, I didn't really feel too scared. And I'll admit that some of the noises I made, like ah and oh my god, some of those were yeah, they were kind of only there to add dramatic effect. Not all of them were real, but yeah, I remember being inside the basement, you know, where you have to turn the power back on, and I felt really frightened there. It was fucking creepy to be down there, having to listen to the footsteps of that variant. That was fucking scary, but everything after that, the outdoor area creeped me out, primarily because I hate outdoor areas in horror games. They always scare me, but yeah, most of the other stuff wasn't really too creepy. The laboratory, it gave a sense of like an alien environment, and that was a little creepy. And the female ward had a few surprises. Yeah, that was creepy, I'll admit, but overall, I'd say if I had to rate the horror of the game on a scale from 1 to 5, I'd only give it a 3. Huh. You can't really compare it to Amnesia. Amnesia was much more fucking scary. Even Dead Space was more scary. Dead Space 1, I should mention. But why is that? I guess you could sum it up like this. Why did I not feel too scared? Because I prefer supernatural horror. Yes, that's a good way to put it. I prefer horror with monsters and surreal environments. If I had to throw Outlast into a category, I'd say it belongs into the normal horror category, because everything you see is, well, it's realistic. You encounter humans. The only supernatural thing was the Wall Rider, but that thing also reminded me more of a human, because it looked like a human, than a monster. And if I were to, for example, play Silent Hill, that game fucking scares me, because everything is supernatural and not normal. There's so much insanity there. Surreal environments, the other world, monsters, so many fucking monsters. And monsters, they can't be reasoned with. They can't talk. They are just fucking creepy. But the variants, those guys, they were once humans. Most of them talked, so that wasn't too creepy. And I don't really feel too scared when I need to deal with humans in horror games, because it's just a human. It's not a monster. You can reason with a human, you can try to understand what a human thinks. If it's like a serial killer, a creepy, weird fucking killer, I guess that's more creepy. But creepypasta characters, for example, like Jeff the Killer, he is a human, but he is also sorta monstrous, so that falls more into the monster category, not into the normal category. Outlast just was too normal, I guess. There was lots of gore. The gore was sorta creepy, but the variants? Just humans. The Naked Twins, Chris Walker, well, alright, maybe Chris Walker not so much. He is more like half human, half monster, but yeah. In summary, I just prefer monsters over humans. Even the Slender Man scares me more, because it's not a fucking human being. It looks like a human, but he is tall, and he's weird, and he has supernatural powers, and etc. Yada 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 yada. I could go on forever. I don't want to make you think though that Outlast didn't scare me. Oh, the game had a good a good load of scary moments. It scared me many, many times, and isn't that all that matters in the very end? Oh well. I'd say we should slowly but surely bring this video to a close, ladies and gents, because I've exhausted what I wanted to say. I've told you why I liked the game, I've told you what I disliked about the game, I told you my thoughts about the story, that I'd like to see how it continues, and I also told you that I am looking forward to the DLC. Yeah, and that's the epilogue of my Let's Play of Outlast. I hope that you enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly enjoyed taking this journey together with you. I enjoyed it from start to finish. There were many roadblocks across the journey. Yeah, it wasn't an easy journey, I'll admit that. Plenty of hiatuses, plenty of weird, strange, awkward moments, and it certainly stressed me out plenty of times to make the videos, to find time to make them, because I'm nitpicky and everything, and I had to redo certain videos, and that annoyed me a great deal, and so on and so forth. But your support made me go through with it from start to finish. We survived Mount Massive Asylum. Well, more or less, Miles unfortunately didn't survive it, but yeah. Is there anything else left I need to say? Besides the obvious, thank you so very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't be where I am without your support. I am glad that you are so very, very loyal, if you are still there. I am glad to have your attention always, your comments, etc, etc, etc. And I hope that you are looking forward to more videos, cause I've got a little bit of stuff planned. I still need to finish some other projects, maybe I'll do that eventually, but yeah, my throat is getting really, really freaking dry now, probably about to collapse, and I've already consumed more than enough of your precious time. One final time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for watching. The journey is over. Let's play Outlast. 37 videos in total, plus a few in between episodes. I hope that you enjoyed them. I hope that you'll have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Also, if you are still here, congratulations, here's a little secret for you. This is in fact not the end of this Let's Play. There are 2 more videos to go. One short one, and one that is a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm not gonna reveal more. They'll just be sort of extra content. There, now I am done though. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Until next time, have a good day. Mr. TSC signing out for now. Rest in peace, Mr. Miles Upshur. My dear friend, you'll be missed. You almost managed to survive hell. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough. But your efforts and your bravery won't be forgotten. Rest in peace.